Bonjour, bonjour, mes rebelles intelligents. I'm here with Kate Strong. Hello, Kate. What's up?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So, Kate, we did an interview for my French channel, and it was in French because you speak very good French, even though you're British and also
Merci.
Australian, right?
British and Australian, yeah.
Yes. And I wanted to interview you in English because you have such a fantastic story to share. So can you, let's just break the suspense here. What did you do? What did you achieve?
I was age group world champion in triathlon. So in 14 months, when I started to train, swimming, cycling and running, by the end of that, I was #1 in the world in long distance triathlon.
Can you believe that? So just so I'm sure that everyone understands, you discovered triathlon at what age?
34, 35.
And 40 months later, you were worldwide champion of it. How cool is that? And you didn't stop there because also you became the first woman to do 24 hours of cycling, right?
On a static bicycle.
Right.
So I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
You had a few breaks to like refresh and stuff like that, but you was the first very woman in the world.
Yes.
So we are with the celebrity right here. Okay, so can you first explain what did you do before going into triathlon? What was your life?
I was quite a normal life. So I went to university. I studied in France. So I got a double master's in mechanical engineering and worked in aerospace and realized that a normal life just wasn't for me. So that's when I moved to Australia and I bought a dilapidated building with my then partner and we converted it into a guest house, restaurant, wine bar and events. And when our relationship sort of broke down, that's the day I sort of sat down and had a real recalibration in my life and went, for 9 years you've been working really hard to build this $1 million business, but you've sacrificed so much and it's just not in balance. Like you've got all of this assets, but you're sad. So what's the one thing that would make your heart sing, Kate? And when I look back, I realized it was getting back balance, so being out in nature, swimming, cycling and running and just discovering my body again. And that's what I did. So before that, I was an engineer, a business owner, and just lived a normal life, going out with friends. And that's what I did.
So when you say normal life, you mean like the typical life of a stressed entrepreneur, right? So you were working like maybe, I don't know, 60 hours a week, something like that?
Minimum, 7 days a week, yeah.
Wow, so you didn't have time to, like do sport and enjoy.
Well, I did.
Ah, you did?
But I believed I didn't.
Ah, interesting.
You know, I haven't got time, I'm too stressed, don't ask me to do that. But then when I decided to do triathlon, nothing changed in my circumstances. I still had my guest house. I still had no money and no time. I just made time. And that's the difference. Yeah.
We'll go back to that because it's so interesting. And yeah, usually it's often a paradox. Like people say, I'm too busy. I don't have time to do sport, to meditate. And they don't realize that to have more time in their lives, they need to do sport and to meditate, and they will be more focused, more happy, and more productive too.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you discover triathlon and how did you get the idea of becoming a worldwide champion so fast?
Well, let's rewind a little bit. In 2005, I did a half Ironman. So I wanted to be an Ironman after traveling for a year, and I did a half. And I started to believe.
So what is Ironman for people who don't know? Yeah?
It's a sort of distances. So it's a 3.8 kilometer swim, followed by a 180 kilometer cycle, and then you finish off with a marathon. So 42.2 kilometer run.
And it's a definition of triathlon, right?
That's a distance, a set distance. There's 5 different distances. That's just the longest one, we'll say.
Okay.
So I did a half. And then people in my life were saying, you've done really well. You can stop now.
Did you prepare for that?
Not really.
Really?
A lot of imagination.
Okay.
Like visualization, but not a lot of act. I finished dead. Like
Completely,
I was.
yeah.
And
you were definitely not first, right?
No. No. I finished, and they'd run out of finisher t-shirts. So that's how far back I was.
Okay.
But I completed it. And all my friends and family were like, you've done so well, you don't have to do any more. And I believed them, and that's when I stopped. So now go forward 10 years, and I'm looking for something to do in my life to really reignite the passion for living. And I remembered I gave up on that dream. And I said, well, what if you just try it again, Kate? Because today, I'm the youngest I'll ever be in my life. So if I don't start today, when are you going to start?
So it was a way for you to like heal a little bit after your separation and to like enjoy life again.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Awesome. I like this. You will never be as young as now.
Yes,
That's so true.
It is.
Okay, so you decided to go back to it. So what's next? What did you do?
Well, I put on my trainers and I ran. And
that's it.
And I think half a mile into running, I stopped. My lungs were on fire. My legs were red. I couldn't see. I was losing vision. I could still see the house. And I just walked back home and went, yeah, we need to do this a bit more.
Wow, okay.
So after, 3-4 times a week, after finishing work at 9 p.m, I'd put my head torch on and I'd run just a little bit further and just a little bit further. And then I could run to the end of the road without stopping. And then I could return without stopping. And it built on from that.
So your goal was to just complete an Ironman at this time. You didn't want to be a world champion.
Well, I actually said I want to be a world champion.
Really? From the start?
Yeah.
It seems very ambitious when you're like an overwork entrepreneur and you just like a few weeks ago you felt you didn't have time and so what made you set up this ambitious goal?
I was invited to do a TEDx talk in the local school, and that's when I said, who am I to cap my potential?
Interesting.
So I said,
one of the talk inspired you?
My own talk inspired me.
Oh, your own talk? That's amazing. Okay.
I thought, yeah, I'm right.
Oh, actually, I should apply my own advices. Good.
Yeah. So if I said I want to just finish it, do you know what? I'll just finish it. If I say I want to be top 100, do you know what? I'll be top 100. And I have no idea if I could have been 99th or 95th. But if I just say I want to be number one, not with ego, not like I deserve it, but just go for it, Kate, and see where you end up. Because I might end at 50th, but I would never have ended at 50th if I was aiming for 100.
Right.
So I said, just do it. Just aim for the stars and you might reach the moon. But you'll never get to the stars if you don't. And
so you decided to train a lot, but at the time you still had this
breakup?
This like hostel, right?
Yeah.
So how did you do to organize and did you just magically find time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some very supportive friends. So at the beginning, you imagine, I can't run a mile. I say, I want to be number one in the world. And you're like, yeah, Kate.
I imagine that, I mean.
What are you drinking? Could I have some too? Because every day they saw me in the morning at 4 a.m. before work, running up and down that road or cycling up and down the street or, going to the local swimming pool or every day in, day out, slowly the whole village started to believe me. Or she might not make number one in the world, but she might, make nationals or something.
They saw you were dedicated.
Yeah, so they started to believe my journey and to come along and go, how can we help?
Oh, really?
So some people would then come and watch the guests. So I'd make all the rooms.
Wow, awesome.
Because it's quite physically demanding with a guest house. So, make the rooms and clean the beds and the bathrooms. And they would sit there just to make sure the guests were welcomed. So that they all started to support me in my dream, which gave me more time. But I still wake up at 4 a.m. and go running for 2-3 hours before work or cycle.
Wow.
And then 8-9 p.m. at night after all the guests were settled, I'd then do the same. So
what? You were training after 9 p.m?
Yeah, that's...
But okay, so you went to bed at like midnight?
Sometimes, yeah.
And you were waking up at 4 a.m. So did you sleep for 4 hours?
Pretty much, yeah.
No way. For how long?
2 years.
And so you, the type of person who can do that?
Yeah, I always listen to my body. So I usually had a half hour, maybe 1 hour siesta in the day, and that was enough. But it's the nutrition as well. So I started to play, I ate healthy, like everyone, you know, a little bit of everything's good for you. But I realized if I ate some things, my body recovered quicker. So I could get more from my training, or I would fall asleep better if I didn't eat certain things before dinner or before bed. So I really played with my food until I found the perfect support, because food is fuel, basically. It's to help us or poison us. That's the short of it. So I found things that just fueled me to give me what I needed in order to be always not just healthy, but so far away from being unhealthy that there was never a question of me not getting the most from my body.
So what was your typical dish, the typical meal? Or the magical recipe you found that enhanced your sleep and performances?
It's actually the order you eat things. So for coffee, or stimulant, should we say, so caffeine teas, only between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So never before and never after. So I know my body always produced its own chemicals to wake me up, because if you drink it in the morning, your body stops producing that and you become addicted and dependent. And afterwards, that's when it starts to interrupt your sleep patterns. And in the morning, I would always have beetroot juice, orange juice, and then I would eat. So beetroot juice helps your muscle recovery. Orange juice helps you absorb iron. And I'd also add chia seeds, which is a great source of omega as well as calcium. So I made sure I always started with an overdose of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So afterwards, my body was like sucking in the goodness. So how did you discover that? Did you read a lot of books? Did you do a lot of experiments? Was it a combination of both? Yeah, so I trial and error. I see what works on me.
And how did you see that? It was just feelings? Did you write in a journal?
It was feelings.
Okay.
And then I'd back it up with scientific. I'm engineer. I need to know if it's just me or if it's the truth.
Right.
I'd read white papers that are not sponsored by companies, so I knew that they were independent.
So the white papers gave you ideas of food to try, and then you saw if it would have a good impact or not.
Yeah, both ways. So sometimes I'd do something and go, wow, I feel great, or oh, I feel shit.
Yeah.
And then I'd see why, or I'd read something and go, oh, I'm going to try that. So yeah, they both helped each other.
So you created this diet to help you, it helped you a lot to sleep less and to have time to do all the training.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting what you shared also about all these people trying to help you. It's like often something that people can see when you set up a very big goal and people see you're really serious about it. Like the universe sometimes conspires to help you. It's like some people go as far as saying it's like the law of attraction, but you don't even have to say that. It's just like people want to help when they see someone like that is really ambitious and struggles to achieve that. So, wow. And so did you hire a trainer or ask someone to train you, or did you do that all by yourself?
I did have a trainer who sent me, but I never met her.
What?
So she sent me every week an Excel spreadsheet of what to do.
So she was like the voice in the cloud.
Yeah.
Watching you from above. Okay.
And so I'd look at it, I'd compare what she's asked me with my work schedule and change it the way to make sure I could do it.
Because you couldn't find anyone in your village, right?
No.
You were living in a small one?
I lived in the mountains.
Oh.
So there was 2,000 people, and it's a beautiful village, but it's more retirement, and you go there to relax. Lots of artists, but not too many people who want to go running or cycle for 100 kilometers at 4 a.m. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so you were mostly by yourself. So did you use what did you use to stay motivated? Because I'm sure at some point you were like, maybe it's too hard. What if I just drop it?
Well, at the beginning it was just the drive to feel alive. For me it was almost catching up 9 years, because I felt that I'd been so focused on my business that I'd lost life, it was more an anger that kept me going. Like, you have to do this, you've got to explode back into living. But afterwards, it was my why. It was realizing. So I had 5 words that I use as a mantra, which was focus, love, journey, passion, and inspire. And so that's what I wanted to create in my life, and also to use my life. So follow my light because you're inspiring others. And there's a beautiful story. One of my last training sessions, it was in winter. I just cycled 180 kilometers. I was so cold I couldn't even undo my shoes.
Oh, really?
So my friend, Brett is his name, he helped take my shoes off, and he said, are you gonna stop? And I went, well, no, I have to run 30 kilometers.
Wow.
And so he put my trainers on for me. I got a running jacket and I left. And I used to run along the railway line because it was one of the very few flat places where I lived, albeit covered in gravel. So I was running along the railway track in the dark with my head torch. And then I saw a light behind me, and it was Brett on his bicycle, because he realised that I was so cold and tired, there's a possibility of me falling.
Oh,
and as I was running, watching my light, he had shined his light in front of me. And I started to cry, because I realised in that moment that I was following my own path, and I'd inspired and lit up everyone else's light. And it was now their light that was shining on my journey to make sure that I succeeded.
Wow.
And so it was just everyone supporting everyone. And from there, Brett competed in sports that he never thought he did. Other friends of mine set up businesses, and it inspired everyone to look into their own lives and go, well, if she can do it, there's nothing stopping me now, there is there?
Awesome.
So it was just amazing.
So it's amazing because you inspired other people to like do something with their life. I mean, do something like ambitious, and it also created like a positive social pressure on you because they were looking at you as a role model, and you couldn't fail them, right?
Completely.
Right, because you knew like if you would like drop it, a lot of people would drop their dreams too.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's a lot of responsibility, but it gives you also a lot of energy, right?
Definitely.
So it's also a hack people can use when they have this very ambitious goal, and is to like just shout it, to tell everyone you know about it, so you create this kind of a positive social pressure.
And back it up with action.
Yeah, right, important.
Because they never believed the words until every day for a week or a month, it depended, each person was different. But yeah, then they saw me doing it and went, I believe her now. So yeah, whatever you say, do action with it. Yeah.
Right. When I launched my blog in French with this goal of reading 52 amazing books in 1 year and publishing a summary every week, I made it a very, very public goal, and it helped me a lot to like be motivated to do it, because every day or almost every day someone will comment or send an email saying, so where are you with this amazing project? How is it going? So it's like, okay, I cannot procrastinate too much because a lot of people are watching me now. Yeah. So that's cool.
So this week's the thin book, but you still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you also, I think, I remember from the interview we did in French that you also, you did train with some friends at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so can you share a little bit what did you do with them, and did it help you to stay motivated at the beginning?
Yeah, so one of the sort of training competitions I set in the middle was to run an ultra marathon. So it was just great to go out and run with friends in the forest.
So
in the bush.
What is ultra marathon? It's more than 42?
Yes, I mean I just did more. I did 50 kilometers, not 42 kilometers.
Okay, 50.
So anything over a marathon is called an ultra.
Okay, so that was your first goal as a step.
Yeah.
Toward the Iron Man. Okay.
Like, I'm sure you know this, and you do it in your life, but I always wanted to be just outside my comfort zone.
Right.
So if a marathon was, I think I can do it, fine, we'll add 8 kilometers. So it had to scare me. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I always wanted to stay.
Had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you have the challenge and you're motivated to put some effort and resources.
Yeah.
To overcome it.
Because I didn't know if I could do it. So that's when I start to work my mindset. Because when you're doing something you don't believe you can, that's when you have to really step up mentally as well. Well, for me.
So you like involved some friends in this goal?
We'd go running in the forest together, following single tracks in the Blue Mountains of Australia. And it was interesting because back then I had asthma, and people could hear me, three houses away coming because I sounded like a steam train with my lungs.
Can you do steam train?
Pardon?
Can you do it?
I can really well, yeah. So it was just great to have friends, and they carried on just running, and I obviously added swimming and cycling to it. But just getting out and knowing there's people there, and again, it's the accountability, especially the morning or the evening whatever's the weak spot. Knowing you've got two people waiting for you at 5:30.
It helps a lot.
You go there. Sometimes for them, sometimes for you, but always we all achieve together.
Right. I mean, I remember it was not as ambitious as you, but I wanted to do some sport, and before I was like a real geek, like on my computer all the time, no sport at all. And I was like, it would be awesome to do some workout, but you know how it goes. I go to the gym, I take like a 3-month subscription, and I go 2 times. You know, typical story. So I was like, how can I can motivate myself to go at least once a week? And I just found the hack, which was to tell a friend, hey, let's go to the gym every Sunday together. And it created some, by magic, like motivation from thin air. Because we were like at our own, separate, like, and we were like, oh, I'm not motivated, I don't want to go, but I cannot call my friend and tell him I'm just dropping him, you know. It's not cool, you know, so let's go. And what is so ironic is he's thinking the same thing at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
He's like not motivated, but the only fact that you have this meeting together, it creates some motivation, external motivation, and you're like, okay, let's go. And then you're very happy to have done it.
Yeah.
So it's something you can also use. And even though you don't have maybe this ambitious goal just for like daily stuff like I did, to go every Sunday, it works too, but it's amazing to see it also work when you want to be a worldwide champion. That's cool. So it was your first step to do an ultra marathon, so you did it?
Yeah.
How many months after you started to train again?
Well, so I started training, it took me about 12 months, should we say, to get to an ultra marathon, from nothing to 50
kilometers, yes.
And so that was in June, I'm just thinking of my dates. October was my first long triathlon. So July, August, 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah. So it's like you took almost you took 1 year to do the ultramarathon, and then it was very fast between it and the triathlon. Was it because you felt you were ready?
Yeah, it was my mindset, because we create the life we live in. You know, the most powerful tool we have is words. And so when I said, oh, I need a year to train, do you know what I needed? A year to train. So when I said, I'm ready today, I'll do it, I only needed to wait till the next triathlon date.
So it was 40 months after.
Yeah.
All right. So fast forward to it.
So I qualified to compete for Australia. As you know, I'm Australian as well. And it was in China. I was completely unknown. I arrived in China. I was so unknown that I didn't actually have the official T-shirt for Australia. So I was in this, you know, little white top I was wearing, and everyone else was in their kit. And it's a weird distances. So it's 4 kilometers swimming, and I always get out around half. So I knew that, you know, people have left because the bicycles have gone. So half the bicycles had already left, and we had 120 kilometers of cycling under really intense sun and very humid conditions, about 70% humidity, 30 degrees centigrade temperatures. And I just loved it. The Chinese drums were out. My parents had flown to China as well. And
from the UK?
From the UK, yeah.
Wow.
And when I got off the bike, I knew I was there was about at least 6 or 7 girls ahead of me.
Wow.
And so I just started to run. And I was high-fiving the kids, I was waving at my parents, I was just loving it. Because what I said beforehand, before we started, everyone was being asked, how are you? And everyone's excuses were coming out. Oh, my ankle hurts, you know, I might not have a good day today, or what do you want to be? And they were like, oh, top 10, I'd be really happy top 10. And I was one of the last they asked. And I said, well, she wants to be top 10. She said podium. She'd be happy with a medal. I said, no one said first. I said, well, you know,
it will be me. Thank you.
I think that's what I have to take because no one else has said it.
That's awesome.
And so I just
and you
ran.
think it was a factor for your winning, right?
I think again it's release the pressure. I didn't care where I came, but I just wanted to do my best.
How did you react when you said that?
When they said that, they
No,
said,
when you said, I will be the first.
it was so strange. It was just what's so.
Mm.
There was no, I'm going to force this, and there was no.
It was natural.
It was just, I have blue eyes, and I'm going to be first.
Okay, yeah, no particular reason. You just want it.
Yeah.
Okay, so swimming and cycling, you are a little behind.
Yeah.
So you said 60 people in front of you.
6.
Ah, 6.
6 people.
Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad. So you start to run and to high five child.
Yeah, just mum and dad were saying, stop being so friendly. You've got to be competitive. And I went, why? I want to enjoy today as the moment now, as well as when I cross the finishing line.
So how did you bypass the 6 people in front of you?
So it was multiple laps.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big hill in the middle. And I love hills. I trained a lot in the mountains.
Oh, so it was your advantage.
Yeah. So I used to wait. It's a bit strategy now. So I used to wait behind if I saw some girls, I would sprint up the top of the hill and then wave at the top. Because again, it's the mindset.
So you wanted them to exhaust themselves by
Me.
running. Oh.
Or it's
interesting.
Yeah, for me it was a way of saying, they're already tired up the hill. If I'm looking like I'm enjoying the uphills so much, their minds might be questioning if they could even catch me. So I knew that if I got to the top of that hill first, the probability is they wouldn't try and catch me.
Awesome.
So it was just
That's very
sure.
smart.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what Schwarzenegger did for his competition. Like he was used to provoke, provocate.
Provoke, yeah.
Yeah, provoke a little bit his competitors before the competition, so they were a little bit more nervous. And this kind of stuff. So it's like
Yeah, but I did it nicely.
Yeah.
But it's the same result.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a competition. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hello, girl. Oh,
Yeah.
will you catch me?
Yeah, it's like, are you having fun too? And, really?
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And so just like that, slowly you were the first.
I crossed the line and I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know you were the first?
So we all go to a compound for the, after the event.
Mm-hmm.
No Chinese would let me out. And then after half an hour, they call me to the podium and I find out then I'm first.
Woohoo! Congrats!
So
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it was amazing. Amazing.
How many people did compete?
I'm not sure actually. I think they were triple digits, but I don't know what.
Like 100 or...
Yeah, like they weren't massive amounts, but it was it was the best of each country.
Wow.
So it was amazing. Well, there was about 1,500 in the whole competition, but for my age group, maybe 100, maybe 150.
And so in retrospect, what is the biggest thing you did that allowed you to have this success?
Routine.
So you were training every day?
It was, yes, I was.
Every day?
Every day.
Okay.
But it was, I also had the work, I had, a social life, but I call them bookend routines, that whenever my day started, even if it was late or early, I always did the same routine. So I always ate the same food, as we talked earlier. I always did Qigong, which is a sort of my type of meditation. So movements to wake me up energetically and give me 20 minutes to process my brain. And I always did that at the beginning. And for the night, it was like always the same routine. So no electricals in my bedroom. I had an old school alarm clock and the phone was always out half an hour before. No stimulation through screens. I didn't own a television, but computer, etc. And drank more water. So
no alcohol?
No alcohol.
No at all? Not at all?
After the party, yes.
Okay.
A week after every event, I just I did what I wanted. If I didn't want to drink, brilliant. If I wanted to go out with girlfriends and celebrate, I did. So yeah, there was built-in freedom, but everything was structured. once a week I'd cook all my meals for the week. Once a month I'd cook all my training food and freeze it in portions. So my life was super structured. And it sounds very controlling, but in that I had so much freedom, because when I wasn't, I just had so much more time. So I had never had a story of no time.
Awesome.
So it was just the routine that created that life. And that could be for anything now. So I'm not training now, but I'm using that to build my business.
Right.
You know,
it's something you have for life now. You know it works.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean it's not like difficult, or you don't have to put some work, but you know you have this structure that works.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's like it's also connected to this method of putting big rocks first in your schedule, so you can achieve things. I'm sure you heard of the story of you take these for example, and you put big rocks on it, and then you put like small rocks, and then you put sand, and then you put water, and at the end it's filled with everything. But if you begin with the sand or the water, you cannot put big rocks, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good analogy for what you have to do in your schedule to accomplish things. Because if you start your day by doing Facebook and Instagram and this kind of stuff, you don't have time for anything, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a good example of amazing success you had with this method. So you become a worldwide champion. So how do you? So you felt amazing, but so I mean, for example, when I accomplished some of the goals I was dreaming of, it's amazing for a while. But after, I mean, me, for example, I felt sometimes a bit empty, because I was like, okay, that's what I dreamed, for example, for 2 years or for 14 months. So now what's next? Did you feel that too?
A little bit, yeah. For me, I love new things. So to do the same thing every year would have emotionally tired me out.
So you wanted new challenges?
Yeah.
So what was your next challenge?
Well, then I'd still competed triathlon. So the following year I competed in 5 world championships. I didn't win them, but it was amazing to travel the world through triathlon, and I sold my business in Australia. And I started to look at my life and go, well...
So you were like completely free.
Yeah.
When you did that,
Yeah. So I just looked at my life and said, you've achieved this, you can prove you can do it. So imagine how you can inspire other people, but not just doing talks where people clap you and go, oh wow, you're amazing, or that was really interesting, and leave. How can you plant the seed almost, or water the seed that's in them? So that's why I created this 24-hour world record challenge for me, because I knew...
How long it was after you won the championship?
So I was world champion in 2014. This was completed 2016.
Okay, so 2 years. So, I mean, you didn't wait too long.
No.
You were like, okay, so you set up this goal. So how did you find this goal first?
I was researching what world records existed.
Okay.
And there's a man one, but not a woman one. And I thought, well, we can't have that, can we? So I applied to Guinness and asked if I could do it, and they said yes. And the reason I chose that is I had no question I could do it physically. I doubted if I could survive it for 24 hours, because albeit I didn't sleep a lot, I value a lot sleep. So for 24 hours, I was like, oh gosh, how will I cope emotionally? And I also knew I needed a team around me. And that is my weakness. Because to trust other people, I had to entrust my friends to tell me when I needed to break, other people to monitor the machinery, someone else to live stream it, someone else to help me with nutrition. Because when you do sport, you don't feel hungry, but you still have to eat. So I had to trust and interest a lot of people, and that really elevated my life. So they were all part of it.
Because like most entrepreneurs, you like to control things, and it's difficult for you to delegate, right?
And let go,
Yeah, and it helps you to let go of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did you train for this challenge?
Well, not long enough.
Oh.
So I trained for maybe 5 months. Don't forget, I was building on a base of I was already very fit.
Right.
So maybe 5 months.
But you didn't do it full time, because you were also building a business in the UK, right?
Well, I actually chose to take a job during that period. So I was working for a bank, one of the big 4 UK banks, as a business coach and advisor to help startups scale up. but it was quite a high demanding time job, emotionally stressful. I didn't cater that into my training. So to train was becoming a challenge because I was also traveling a lot in the whole of the UK. So not very great planning from my part. But yes, I trained for about 4 or 5 months. And again, just overnights, in the morning, before work.
So did you do a full 24-hour sessions before? Oh, it was the first time when you did for the Guinness book.
Only trained for 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
Once.
Which is still a lot. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure your ass is like hurting after 8 hours on the static
Yes,
bicycle, right?
Yeah, I could tell you a lot about lubrications as well if you want to. The things you have to learn.
But so technically, like this 24 hours challenge, you don't spend 24 hours on the bike. You have some. You're allowed to have some breaks, right?
Yeah.
So it's like every 6 hours.
You can have as many as you want, but
you...
the time doesn't stop. But obviously your distance will reduce.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, okay, because you were the first woman to try that, but you wanted to beat the record of the men?
No, I just wanted
to set up the highest
I just wanted
distance.
To do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, okay. But so you said not enough, so it means you're not happy with the result you got?
Well, no, I just know that what was missing was exactly that, planning it. So with all this traveling with work and... I actually didn't have an apartment either, so I was living in 3 or 4 different locations. My routine was missing. So I was too much in my head planning things. So I actually proved what I should have been listening to myself again. So that was what was missing. But I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
So how was the 24 hours? I remember you broadcast it live on Facebook.
Yes.
It was amazing to see people commenting and so tell us about this day.
So I chose to do it at a festival. So I was put in a hallway next to the toilet, like really shoved in the corner.
Where was it, in London?
It was in London, yeah,
okay.
In Olympia. And there was some people coming along and they were saying, oh, when are you going to stop? I said, this time tomorrow. And so there was a lot of disbelief. But what was amazing was by the end of it, there was over 300 people to watch the end.
Around you?
Yeah, all down the hallway, all in the corridors.
Awesome.
And people were sending in photographs of their children from Australia, from America, from Sweden. People were calling in day and night to say, you've inspired me. I'm now on my bike, or even, my son was afraid to try on his bicycle. He's 6. He's picked his bike up and he's cycling in the garden. And to see the whole world just sort of awaken and again, take their dream and bring it to life. It was really, really amazing. Because that year I chose not to do any speaking because I just stand up and go, watch me and then do it yourself. Like, I'm not going to talk anymore. You've got enough knowledge. Just spend this hour not listening to me, but doing what you want to do.
Awesome. And it's like, I see it's like a big inspiration for you, and I mean for a lot of people, when you see you inspire others and you help them to, overcome their own fears and become a better version of themselves.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, we see like the light in your eyes right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, and how many people did follow you on Facebook, do you know?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. For
No?
that moment, I think 10,000 people were watching it live.
And the video is still online, right?
Yes.
Did you put an extract on your YouTube channel?
I will.
Oh, you will. Okay, so we'll talk about your YouTube channel next. Okay, so you were happy with it. So how far did you go? How many kilometers?
Guess.
I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, wait. If you are on average 20 kilometers per hour, but maybe it was a bit more. Okay, let's say 20. For 24 hours, it means you're not supposed to do math on camera. Okay, it can be embarrassing.
I'll tell you. It's very, very close.
Okay.
454 kilometers.
So it's close to 20 kilometers per
Yeah.
hour on average.
Yeah.
Okay. And did someone try to beat that since then or not?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, so you're still the
I will always be the world's
record
first.
holder. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So you're in the Guinness book right now.
No.
Oh, why?
Guinness actually said that I needed to cycle 800 kilometers. So I could have
800.
So it's very technical. So I could have chosen a bicycle with a really big wheel. So if I do it one wheel, it would cover a big distance. I chose a bike that was calibrated to me. Because then if someone else does it who's lighter than me or larger than me or have, it was all calibrated to the person. So I chose to not have the record and to actually do it so other people can compare rather than just get the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you happy with the results?
Amazed. Well, I finished it 24 hours.
Wow.
It was
That's
absolutely
something.
Yeah.
For how many hours did you sleep after that?
Oh, not a lot. So
Really?
I was maybe 7 hours.
Okay.
I was back at work. The
Now
next
for
day.
you it's like a
lion.
full, like 2 nights in a row almost.
Yeah. Well, the energy for the whole week.
But usually
I was
do
just
you
alive.
sleep 4 hours a night or?
No, I sleep more now.
Okay, like 6.
Yes, 6 to 8.
But you're not like a big sleeper.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
no.
All right. So what did you do another challenge since then or?
Since then, no.
So what is your next challenge? Everyone is like wondering what should we do next.
Well, it's about balance now. So back then I was single. Now I have a partner. I have a stepson as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about sort of creating roots. So the strongest tree has the biggest roots, and it's amazing to float around like a cloud. But now it's about foundational growth. So I'm really building a lot of roots. I want to create, similar to you, a business which works for everyone, to inspire them and to actually unpack my life so other people can use it for their lives too and achieve what they want in their lives. And from that, I'm talking with charities. So I do charity work for one company. We support refugee women in Jordan. So we supply them machines and they make sanitary pads and nappies for the females. And it actually is now reducing sexual attacks in this camp. So to be a part of that is amazing. And we're talking about bringing it to the UK for homeless people. So again, it's about giving back to maybe communities that are overlooked, or they have a big mindset that they can't, or they haven't the resources. It's to help them that way.
So it's amazing. It's still about giving value to people, but without the sport. Now it's like more tailored for like people in need.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There is another charity that I'm just starting talking with that is very sporty. So they climb Everest or they cycle east coast to west coast of America.
To raise awareness for causes?
To bring teamship into companies, so that you have to work together and work as a unit and respect every position. So there's a lot of leadership experience in that, and also is to raise money for charity. So but we're talking about bringing me in to help create the systems for the courses so people can get professional certification from what they achieve as a leader in that course, but through cycling or hiking Everest. So that would bring my sport in as well as my brain. So I'm quite excited.
So will you climb Everest soon? Or?
It's not on my list. I don't like the cold.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But you're a mountain girl.
Yeah, I like the warm. I like the warm.
Okay, you like warm mountains.
Yes, exactly.
So only in Australia, right?
Exactly, yes.
Or maybe in South America, if it's
Yeah.
not too high. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, Kate. I think we had like a very interesting view of your like what you did, and also what you use, like what strategies and method you use to achieve success. So to finish this interview, do you have like a tip you can share with people, like people who watch this entire interview? It's pretty long, so I think people who are still watching, they're like super motivated, like, yeah, okay, I want to do something amazing too. What would be your advice for them to start?
Just start. It sounds that simple. Believe you can. Anything that doesn't, and be very mindful of the words you use. So only give yourself empowering words. There's nothing that can stop you. Like the bicycle that I won my world championship on cost me $500 on eBay.
Wow. So it's not a big investment.
It's nothing to do. Your life can be a shambles or super rich, but it's all in you. So just start and use words that empower you.
Amazing. Okay, and so for people who want to know more about you, so you have a YouTube channel?
I do. All the links are on my website, which is katestrong.co.
Okay.
And my intention is, as you were saying earlier to me, is to to share daily, to get more active in sharing all of this. So my YouTube channel is going live tomorrow,
and you will put an extract of your like a bicycle challenge.
Yes,
right?
yes, I will.
And so we'll put the link in the description and in the comments. So just check that. Amazing, thank you, Kate, for sharing everything.
Merci.
Awesome, merci. So, mes rebelles intelligents, I hope this interview inspired you. See you next time, and in the meantime, don't forget, be intelligent, be rebel, and be part of the people who do crazy, amazing challenges. Ciao!